Alright, so this is another video. As always, I'll be making as many videos as I can. My point of making videos is when the day I will not be able to make videos, I just want to make sure that anybody who participated, as easy as it was to participate, because what they do, the participant of this target individual program are not the best of the best. They're not the creme de la creme. It didn't take the best to do what they do. It just took people who have the ability to demonize, not even demonize, minimize their self-respect. And a lot of people can do that. It is very pathetic, but I'm just so thankful. And for us target individual, we have to remember the reality. A lot of manipulations and psyops are created to make you believe everything but the reality of what's going on. And so, yes, they create these battles in our brain, but at the same time, we have to get back to reality. And remember what this is about. Remember who's running this program. And remember that these people that create this distorted reality are contracted, are hired for that purpose. They are supposed to distort reality and make you believe this distorted reality. So, me making videos is to, of course, bring back reality. Remember the reality of what this program does, what these people do, and who they've done it to, and what's really some of the disturbing reality of these people. Because their goal is to normalize what they do. They've made themselves believe that it's a normal thing to participate in what they do, or even a fierce thing, as in like they're brave and they're avenging. Like this reality that they put together that is so falsified. When the truth is removing the purpose of what this is about. This is about a development of weaponry, of technology. But the fact that they do these things in this fashion and the disturbingness they implement in order to get these results, they're so nasty. And just the fact that childlike individuals can be participating, that shows the weakness of this, of the people who can be involved in this. And so I've been very vocal about it, meaning that those people have felt provoked by what I'm saying because they wanted to live in that deluded reality. They wanted to believe these things that they are working day in and day out to manipulate me to experience. So target individuals do not identify to any of these manipulations, and my videos are meant to do that, not only for me to speak about it, but for me making these videos is something that makes me remember that I'm isolated, and when I'm not isolated, I'm interacting with people who are purpose. So their job is to 24/7 create that falsified reality to be true. And this is why I thank God in all my videos. I need to thank God because I could have been a participant in that. If by any chance I somehow evolved myself the way this purpose evolved myself, I could have been doing the same things as this low life and just have normalized things that are just so foul to be doing to people, to be involved with, that there's no coming back from. So that's why I'm so thankful. I would have been on by the side of this childlike individuals acting this way because this is how they're supposed to agitate somebody. I would have done the same thing, and me, a grown man, having to talk this way, dumb myself down, knowing the reality of what I'm part of, and still be normalizing this. That's why I'm so thankful. I could have been this person creating this character, even interacting this way, living off somebody's sufferance as if it's gonna make my life better, and having to even humiliate myself by doing the things I do. And then be embarrassed by the reality and still try to sound like fierce. And then hope that, hey, you're gonna be tattooed in your face. I was like, okay. Imagine me saying that. I'm so thankful. Imagine me hoping somebody's gonna be screaming. It's like, what is it gonna do to me? What am I getting out of this? It's not gonna change the reality. Now, I try to make videos that are kind of comprehensible, but sometimes the emotions are too strong, and I just speak without controlling myself in the sense that it's hard to comprehend all of what I'm saying. But this is when you, then this is when I experience what you call forced speech, because I speak so fast. I'm trying to, and then they can twist my words up. Even me right now speaking, I can feel my brain struggling to come up with the words, and some words I can feel trying to be said, like forcing me to say something else that I'm not even thinking about. They just like sometimes I say something and something else come out that I wasn't planning to say. And this is actually part of this ability of the technology. Now, I'm so thankful. I'm just sorry because I just heard somebody say something, and actually I should just calm down and go through it because I think it's part of this video. First of all, like I say, thank you God, because I could be living life like these bottom feeders, but you're gonna hear how sad and nasty all of that gave put together has how things are just so disturbing. Now, I'm a target individual. I'm a TI. Um, I'm a human subject where the government is utilizing defense weapons onto us to develop this technology. They do all kind of things to us, target individual. This technology is extremely sophisticated and advanced. And this Department of Defense technology can do so much to your body and your mind. So, with this defense technology, they can destroy your organs. And I keep saying defense technology over and over. And they can make you sick and make you feel better at the same time. They can destroy your all your organs, your bones, and you feel yourself breaking down. I feel my body slowly breaking down. You also have this technology called synthetic telepathy, V2K. This is when things become even more science fiction. Your brain is somehow hooked to some device that can manipulate your brain. They manipulate your brain and make you experience disturbing things. Everything we experience seems to be in the negative ways. These tactics they've been utilizing have been so fucking nasty. Excuse my language, they are so foul. These are the kind of people that I would be scared to be them on my deathbed. That's the kind of people where if it was time when time comes for them to die, that moment for them would be the scariest thing ever. And the way they've been fierce in this cowardly way is just so. The tactics they do, the tactics of manipulations in your brain are so disgusting. They can make you experience all kind of thoughts, all kind of reactions, all kind of stimulations, all kind of sensations. It's been disturbing. And then they contract these people who what you call perps, right? That's the verbiage you hear a lot. Perps. Perps are civilians contracted to implement these things. It's non-stop. It's like conditioning you to accept this manipulation. These perps are perhaps some of the most childlike individuals. They have to dumb themselves down because it's a gaslighting tactic. Imagine I know that you are not, like, I'm trying to make you believe something I myself participate to make you experience. You know that I'm going to have to act extra. You know I'm going to play this role. Right? So I have to dumb myself down because to the level of, I have to dumb myself down to the level of who? To almost a child, me, a grown man or a grown woman. I know I'm participating in the manipulations myself. I have my hands on that, and then I want you to believe that what you're experiencing, even though me, a contracted individual from the government, I have seen the manipulation because I participate in that. Then I'm supposed to make you believe you are experiencing that naturally. After me myself have manipulated you to experience that. You understand the kind of acting they have to create. They have to start making themselves like children, even though they're not children. And if they can include children, oh, children are going to be children. So now I can make myself mad. Like, oh my God, you're going to pay for that. But this gets darker when you figure out the reality of what this program has done and what they do to very vulnerable people. Now, um, these people interact with me via V2K voice to skull, right? It's this technology that can project voices onto your brain. For example, as I'm speaking about this, I'm hearing a man, and they love to create a character, a tonality of meaninglessness. You see them in person, the story changes. You see this grown man talking to you in this horrible, even women, and even children. And he's in my mind, via this V2K, he's like, you're gonna die, you're gonna rot in jail. I'm gonna tell the story of, I'm gonna describe what he means by that. And this is go with this whole reality. I'm hearing people calling me shit. Like they've been so humiliated by the reality of what these people have signed up to be part of. That they are trying to counter, and they like to project reality. So they like to call me human shit. Whatever these people calling you human shit, please, if that's what they call, I'd rather be a human shit than whatever things that these people are. I'm telling you. They know, even by looking at them, they know I see them for something else. There is what they're part of, you're going to hear that. But they like to create, they project a falsified reality in any ways. They live off what they themselves manipulate. It's a world that is so distorted, I can't understand how they can live with themselves. It's like life is no longer real life for them. They have created a false, they create the manipulation that you experience. They act so within the manipulation. So they make you experience something. They can even make you feel nervous and then be like, oh, you see, you're nervous, huh? It's like, no, you are making me feel nervous. You are making me feel fearful. Like they create these emotions. They have the ability to manipulate your body, your thoughts, and your emotions, your reactions. So they make you experience a reaction, even a reaction of, oh, you see, like, when you swallow saliva when you're nervous, they can control that. And then be like, oh, now. It's like, you don't even, they have removed reality from their life and put back this distorted reality. And this, I think, to cope with reality. Because they know what they sign up for too. It's just to try to deal with what that means. Right? And I see them through everything. And I've been validated in ways. Target individual, once you see the reality, you can't even understand how can one person be so validated. And so for me, they've been telling me how I'm going to be tortured. I'm expecting some theatrical torture to counter what you're going to hear right now. This is why this man talks the way he talks to me, using this menacing voice. Because he wants me to still think that this is a mistake for being, instead of this governmental entity that has been running this program for years and years and still doing that today. And the things they do are some of the most disgusting things. So they're going to try to counter that with me experiencing some horrible things. And how they're going to make me experience that is in line with what they usually do. It's in line with the torture and tormenting. Yesterday, I made a video, and this is the video. I was talking about the different ways they just kind of manipulate and leave this, saying the same thing. And I was saying something. I was trying to say this. They've done these nasty manipulations to me that now I'm traumatized to the point I'm scared of seeing children. Every time I see children, especially the little ones, I am terrified. Because the nasty reaction this program make you experience, these people that have the ability to make you experience things, is going to be nasty. It's going to be foul. They're going to make you have some sexual stimulations or some kind of reaction toward children, to the point that I don't even want to be around. I cannot stand being around or seeing children. I cannot even the voice of children has turned into something disturbing to me because of how they manipulate me. So for me, it's been something I don't want to be around. Like I don't want to be around children. I don't want to hear children. I don't even want to see kids. But even me speaking something, the way they make me speak right now is to kind of dehumanize children. But the way what I'm trying to say is, before August 19, 2019, children, it is wholesome. It's like I love to watch anything with children in it because it was just like so wholesome, endearing. But they've twisted it in the nasty pedophilia ways they've done things, to the point that now I detest even hearing children. There's nothing wrong with the children. It's what this trash that can manipulate your brain make me experience, which is aligned with something that's ongoing. That, as I'm speaking right now, they've been trying to counter that because the reality is so disturbing that these people have something with children that is so foul. And not even these perps are nobodies. These are the bottom feeders. I always gotta remember that whatever I'm gonna go through, I should never think about these bottom feeders as responsible for whatever this horror I'm gonna go through. They're just responsible of the theater. That theater is to try to make me believe that these people are the one in charge of me. They're so clown. They are so nobodies that I can say a name right now that you're gonna hear, and you see them fearful. But with me, you're the human chips. Like, the reason why you can do this to me is because I'm already dead. In the sense that the people who put me in this program are the people responsible of whatever's gonna happen to me. You guys are just trying to create your little fantasy, your distorted reality. And in the midst of trying to create your distorted reality, the reality of what you guys are truly in is just still nasty. So whatever's going to happen to me in whatever condition I'm going to be living in, please understand. It's already understood that you guys are just implementing, you're just doing things to somebody who's already gone, who was already like, here, take care of him. And this program took care of them and to me of me, and now these people are just participating in that. There's nobody. They're nobodies. You cannot look at these perps in any ways but just the nothings. They're truly the nothings. But going back to what I was saying, they are trying to paint you in different ways. But in this video I'm talking about, and I need to calm down because I was happy to make this video, and I have so much I want to say, but they are making me hard to just stay focused. So I'm gonna do my best and make this as aligned as possible. So I made a video, and as I was saying, today I am more fearful of seeing a child than seeing an adult menacing individual. If I see a group of little kids over there and I see a group of men with knives and whatever, I will be going toward the men with knives. Because these little kids, what's going to happen to me if I see them or even around them? These people that have the ability, that is utilizing this defense technology onto you for the development purpose of it. Let me say that this is about the developing of technology that can manipulate your mind. They are trying to find the best way to control and manipulate your brain. And so that's why they use human subjects. That is it. They tweak around what is going to break him more. Oh, let's do the libido manipulation. And then they want you to identify with this. And then they have these perps, like I said, that try to make you believe, so, oh my God, it's not real, it's you. They act accordingly to make you believe that this is you. That is what this program is about. It's about the ability to manipulate somebody and make that person believe that it's him or her. But you understand how I understand this. So when they act and do their little things, even if I experience something nasty that they make me experience, and they want to be, oh, it's you. They can look at me and know that this guy's not going with it. Immediately, I can see, like, I'm looking at them, it's like, you think I don't understand what's happening here? You are rewiring my brain in these disgusting ways and then try to make me accept these things. You're disturbing pedos. But before I get to that wordage, I'm not gonna get there. You're gonna hear that a lot. Um, so I'm saying in this video that I'm scared of being around children because of this disturbing reaction these people are gonna make me have. That I'm more scared of children than adult menacing men. Now in this video, what I'm gonna say in my last video, I said I'm scared of I'm more scared of kids than human beings. And that's them making me sing that way, this thing, in this fashion, to make it seem like I think kids are not humans. They're like a dehumanized kids. Stupidity. And as I'm saying that, I'm gonna slowly build up the reality and how they project reality, because it is disturbing. You know, as I was saying that they said dehumanize kids, I remember the joke you said to make fun of your friend. The reality is going to be so disturbing. You know, we have psyops here. And, you know, these psyops want to create this progressive facade that these people are women that are protective of women, and they're avenging for, you know, whatever you did, and they're like also try to present themselves as extra politically correct, and you know, this joke is inappropriate, this and that. I'm like, listen, I've made a lot of inappropriate jokes, especially to my friends, because me and my friends had that kind of relationship. We insulted each other in so many ways. We had dark humor. It was meant to insult somebody. It's not meant to. But nobody, for you to say this joke, it means, are you serious? These people are clown, because it's the way they're supposed to act. While involved in a program that you're going to hear the reality of what these people are. It's like, no, you see, that means you dehumanize kids. Are you serious? You think my joke making fun of my friends at 20 years old or something like that is... these people, this is how much acting they have to create. This is how minimizing the state of logic. That's what I'm saying. That's the level of how they have to completely make themselves almost childlike. Of course, do you understand how you have to rationalize this retardation? It's like, this is how far you've gone. In your life, as a grown adult, men and women, you made yourself dumb to this level for the purpose of selling this fantasy. So listen to this. This is me at the end of this video I was making. Then the babies. The babies are the worst thing. That's the worst. This is what scares me the most. I'm not even scared of human beings, of adult beings. I'm scared of babies. I'm scared of kids. So you hear what I said. I'm not even scared of human beings. I was trying to say adults. And I said, oh, sorry, well, adult beings. But I'm scared of babies. And they made me have this like forced speech, right? Because they were trying to make it sound like I'm dehumanizing. Oh, so babies are not human beings. But they're twisting things around, making me say something differently, so it sounds like, oh, you don't think babies are human beings. This is what they call forced speech. Listen to this. Forced speech is part of this ability of this technology. This technology is so amazing in the sense of what it's capable of doing. It can make you say things that you're not even trying to say. Now, the reason why this was said is to create that painting, that narrative. But, you know, I've made videos about forced speech. You look it up. But the reason why I'm making this video is because it's the irony of it all. How they are twisting my words around to paint as if I'm the one dehumanizing children. You're going to hear what's happening and what they're capable of doing, even dehumanize kids. So I'm like, okay, yeah, twist these words like that. Listen to that. That's why you have this title, Dehumanizing Children. Because we know who's dehumanizing children. Now, let's go back to forced speech. Forced speech is what they've done to other target individuals. It's supposed to frustrate you. You see, this is kind of, it's supposed to be making me frustrated. It's like, oh no, this is not what I meant. But I was like, oh, actually, good point. Let's talk about dehumanizing children. Yes, you can make me say things in these ways, so you can paint that narrative. But the reality, you hear that? This is part of this program. This is a noise campaign to disrupt what I'm saying. This is happening all the time, and that's why you know who's running the show. Now let's talk about forced speech. Now we know that the government is running this program. This is why you just heard the siren, right? This is not some fierce femme fatale that's doing this. This is not some rogue whatever psyop they created. This is because all kind of entities, including law enforcement, ambulances, and other entities are all involved. So you hear a lot of sirens, you hear a lot of things to kind of disorient you. Now, these governmental entities, Department of Defense, have very sophisticated technology, and this forced speech has been addressed by others. This man called Robert Duncan, he's actually somebody who works, according to what he says, he worked for DARPA and others like governmental entities like the CIA. So he studied a lot of that and the ability of this technology. Listen to what he says here.
Through your own motor cortex, the actions of verbiage. It's a weird sensation. I know it's going to be difficult for you to describe, but it's quite common amongst TIs in a certain portion of the program. The programs can last from 3 months to years, like in your case, many years. Yeah. So you just haven't been taken out of the program yet, or still.
So this is something that the whole forced speech. I can't find a patent on it. I don't know. I've never.
No, there will not be a patent on this.
There won't be a patent on this. But I mean, it's one of those things where I have to deal with the repercussions of what I'm being forced to say.
You hear him talk about how this can work, how they can vocal cord, or I forgot. Let me hear that again.
Through your own motor cortex, the actions of verbiage.
See, motor cortex, the action of verbiage, the ability to control what you say. They do that all the time. I try to say something and then I feel like I say something else is said. And it's been happening a lot of time. And I've called it out forced speech. You hear this man saying the same thing. So I have to be very careful when I speak because it's just like, okay, you got, they can twist, they can make me say something really quickly. So just calmly speak. Sometimes I've said some things, I'm like, oh, that's not me. I can also go, that's not what I was trying to say. So they do these things. And it's something that they've been they've been doing to me and kind of annoying me, frustrating me, especially when I make videos, but also when I'm presenting, I can feel like, oh, that's not the word I was trying to say when I'm working. So I'm having a presentation, I'm speaking, and I'm hearing some words. Sometimes if the verbiage they use is not, sometimes it's not even just something derogative, it's not something negative, it's just that's not how I would say this thing. So, and I recognize that, well, this is not me. So, I know these things. And the purpose are supposed to make you believe that it's you. It's your thoughts. It's your words. It's no, I know you can manipulate my words like that. You can manipulate my verbiage like that. I understand. This is what this technology can do. This is the reality of what this is about. It's about full control and manipulation of a human being. The rest is just a facade. You heard the siren. This is all the time. And you will hear that other target individuals say the same things. And so the goal of them twisting those words like that is to try to present this narrative that somehow I'm dehumanizing kids. I'm the one dehumanizing kids. That I don't believe kids are human. That I'm the one who can treat kids this way. You understand the delusionality of it all? And the way they've been twisting it is because with me, they do this nastiness. These people, you're going to hear through this video, something I've been bringing up a lot. There is a strong issue with pedophilia in these entities, big problem, and it's been consistent. Not only in the program that they when they manipulate you and control you in these disgusting ways, they manipulate your thoughts. But the entities running this program have a very, very disturbing pattern, a strong freaking pattern that shows a pattern of pedophilia. Pedophilia, for some reason, is a big problem. Like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist in the sense that, the pedophiles, but there is truly, according to even what you're going to hear, this is not some conspiracy theory, a problem where pedophilia is truly an issue navigating these agencies. Which this program on its own does very pedophilia centric things and it does very disturbing things to children. But I'm going to go through that later on. For me, when it comes to the manipulations, and you're going to hear that, and I've brought that up, they do this pedophilia type of tormenting where they can make me experience some nastiness toward children. It's foul. But that's what they've been doing to others. And these kids involved in this are acting accordingly. So I'll go to the train and you see this little teenager is walking this way. The reason why they walk like that is because they want me to see them, and so they can do the pedophilia type of torture. These people are nasty bottom feeders that are very, very, very pedophilia centric. But you're going to hear how right I am. It's disgusting. And so then they try to act accordingly. And they want me to let them live that fantasy with me. I'm so like, I have no shame in embarrassing them. So for me, when I have this interaction with them, I'm like, you know what? These kids are, to me, if I know you're a kid, especially that young, like a little teenage kid like that, you can never enter in my brain in a sexual way if I was me naturally. You're not even to me, you're not even a full-on human at this point, right? I mean that you're not even, I can't even process you as a full-on human for me to even think about you in a sexual way. Meaning that you are so like, it's like so foreign to you're so like this ways of thinking because of how young and of a child and how young you are. You see how they try to manipulate how young you are, even the way you look. You like you're not even. I can't even. I don't process you as even a human in the sense of thinking about you in a sexual way. It's like I can't even have any sexual thoughts. And you see how what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say like. I don't even, you're not even fully grown, like you're not a human being yet. You're still and me, I process you as that. I'm not, I cannot, like naturally, you would not even make me feel anything. You will even go there, no matter what they make me look at and what, to me it's like something that's not even like possible. But now things have changed because they can manipulate my brain in different disgusting ways. And these things have been shown to be a pattern. Now, so when I speak, it's like, oh, you don't think kids are human, huh? Dehumanize them. You see how they twist things? Now today, they can make me experience everything they want me to. This technology has the ability to control your thoughts in ways that are so precise. So they can precisely make you think in these ways. Then they send these bottom feeders who work for these governmental entities to make you acceptive of this. But the fact that they try to change that and make me have this forced speech to create this narrative is the irony of it all. Because these people do dehumanize children. Maybe not their children, but they do dehumanize children. They torture and do horrible things to children. You heard the testimonies. Listen to what this program they involved in consists of torturing and using children as test subjects. Meaning they harm them, do horrible things to them sexually. This is the reality of what these people do. Listen, I'm trying to have, I'm trying to be as composed as I can while going through this video. It's hard because I'm just so, I am so involved. Like I'm just so passionate about what I'm saying. So it just, I just need to calmly and speak in ways that are more calm and relaxed. But it's gonna be tough.
I am currently a speech language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic, and they used her to threaten the most torture in me as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual behavior for her, as she usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions and had been making incredible progress on all of her therapy goals. This was used to threaten extreme torture on me, making me scream and cry, etc. They would make the kids act out the kinds of torture that would later be done on me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day, for about 2 months straight, and that's also when they made it worse when I eat. Then I also worked with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister, who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, "Ow." I observed this at least on 1 or 2 occasions for each of them during their separate sessions. During one session, I observed one of my 3-year-old clients suddenly grab his crotch and lean forward in his chair. And then he made a frightening grimace of severe pain. I asked him what was wrong and if he needed to use the restroom, but he said no to having to use the restroom and was not able to verbalize anything more due to his language delay. He looked puzzled and bewildered. Even though I had stated that it was time to do more work right before this incident, I quickly just let him play another game, and he quickly returned to his joyful, happy self again. In other sessions, he has also grabbed his crotch and said, "Ow," while looking up at me.
So, just to summarize, and as I was listening to that, they're going through my head and creating thoughts to try to counter what you hear. That's their life right now, is to try to stop me from seeing things for what they are, and they counter that by creating thoughts that are disturbing and that are vilifying to me, in order to stop stop me from listening what they do to children. They sexually torture children. You just heard a 7-year-old that not only was suffocated because this technology has the ability to restrict your lungs. They can do things to you to enable you to breathe. But on top of that, 7-year-old with autism being suffocated, they are sexually torturing her. They sexually torture this child. Then you hear a 4-year-old and her sister who's 5 years old, both of them having Down syndrome, being sexually tortured. Then you hear a 3-year-old child being sexually tortured. Now, this is the things they do. Let me bring this up. I know this is the government running this program. I know that whatever's happening to me is the same thing that's happening to these children. This program has no value of if you have children or not. these governmental entities running this program need the utilization of even children, meaning they need to utilize this technology onto children to see the responses, because the more sample from the youngest to the oldest is needed, because the goal is to have the ability to manipulate a human being in every way. Children are inclusive. So these people who twist your words in whatever ways and try to twist things around with this falsified narrative are fully aware that in this program they're in, the torture of children is applied. Listen to this family of 5 and what they've been going through.
And have had a decent education. I live in El Dorado Hills, California, with my wife of 14 years, Lorna, and our 5 children. Nicole is 15, Patricia 14, Christopher 13, Dylan 9, and Avery 16 months old. Not only have I been going through this, but my entire family has suffered right by my side. We have all experienced the same type of harassment on different levels. We have all suffered the same symptoms while this harassment was going on. Some of our physical symptoms include severe tooth decay and vision loss, unexplained rashes and burns, severe headaches, mood swings, anxiety, thyroid problems, high blood pressure, heart problems, vision loss, and cancer. Two of my children were born premature, which I attribute to this. Our son Dylan, now age 9, was born very premature. He was born at 31 weeks. During her pregnancy with Dylan, we were being targeted more so than other times. At the delivery, there were weird men walking and waiting around the hospital. Right outside our delivery room window, there was a white cargo van parked with 2 suspicious men inside. They were there the entire labor, a delivery. Our son had to be transported to another hospital 45 minutes away. When arriving to the Toa hospital, those same men and van were present. Three of my children have severe rashes that have not been explained by several doctors. These rashes have been present for several years at a time. If interested, I will gladly furnish you with detailed photos of the rashes. Our infant daughter, at 3 weeks old, was diagnosed with Lerner's syndrome. This was after a severe rash appeared on her body after a few days of torture. We were told by a couple doctors to take her home and love her and spend the rest of the time we had with her. They told us she would ultimately die from this syndrome. Thank God that Lerner's syndrome was not what affected our daughter. Doctors are still dumbfounded by her rash and symptoms. Sadly, we know that her symptoms were effects from the torture this poor innocent 3-week-old baby endured. Recently, I lost complete and I exhibited the flashing lights. My 9-year-old son Dylan complained about the lights. You will often hear that vision is something that is greatly affected with this type of torture.
So you hear this. Torturing children is not a problem, and they are very mean in the sense of what they're capable of doing to children. They can torture even infants. You heard a 3-week-old. Rashing and all kind of things happen to this baby. Blinding, messing with the vision of children, getting them sick. All kind of diseases, fainting, pain, seizure. Children, infants. And obviously, this is the same governmental entities running this program onto them that are doing this thing to me. So these people participating in my torture are participating in a program where torturing children is happening. Some of them have participated in that. And so you know who is truly able to dehumanize a child instead of the way they're twisting words around or talk about a joke that was made when I was a kid. No, see, that's a forced speech. A joke I made when I was like 19. When I was 20 or something like that to make fun of my friend. While they're in a program that is literally not only suffocating children, but making them sick to the point where they think that baby was dying. Because what they do to you is we are truly guinea pigs. We're test subjects. They can make you feel sick and make you feel better. I've experienced it. When one day I'm like, oh, I'm feeling kind of like my organs feel like they're failing. And then, why am I feeling better now? So we are truly a test subject. But this is not it. Listen to this woman talk about what her and her young child goes through. This woman her name is Catherine Nestor. I brought her up many times, and I don't mind bringing up the same testimonials a million times. I find the power of repetition to be true in the sense of the power of words. These people doing this thing to us, they want to create a distorted reality so they can do what they do because they love what they do. It empowers them. It gives them this godlike fantasy. It's intoxicating. You find this empowerment that you don't even have in your own life, but in other people's life, because this program has the ability to do so much to you. They want to be involved in that because look, I can do this and that in my own life. What can I even do? But in this person's life, oh, I can make him or her feel pain, feel better, feel sick. In my life, I get sick. Okay, I gotta check what it is. I can even die from some random like that. But these people's life, whole life orchestrated, manipulated, and so when they want to involve themselves in that, they create a reality, distort reality that they themselves create, and box out the reality that these people torture and dehumanize children. Listen to this.
Miss Catherine Nestor.
My name is Catherine Nestor and I'm from Pennsylvania. This commission has spoken of a long history of abuse of the human research subject. Although no one mentioned MKUltra today, President Clinton recently apologized for this. My young child and I have been used as non-consensual test subjects. We have been subjected to COINTELPRO-like stalking, remote neural monitoring, and electromagnetic torture, resulting in psychological and physical damage. And I won't go into the details of that because I have 4 pages written in here that is very similar to Connie's testimony. Please do not wait 70 years to investigate this. I asked Dr. Amy Gutman to begin today. There is new work for the Commission for Human Subject Protection on our shores. And please give us a dramatic response, Susan, and please give us a congressional hearing. Thank you.
This is a woman who goes to the bioethics in 2011 and says, I'm a test subject and me and my young child are going through these disturbing things. This is applied onto us. This defense technology is being applied onto us because we're test subjects and we're both being damaged not only psychologically and physically. You see how they try to project reality onto you. As I was saying that they do whatever they say they can to counter reality because they're prepping something that you'll see aligns with what I'm just saying. Listen to this woman who says how her children, her young children, were also tortured.
At the time, they were all little. Even though a few days after I summoned, they attacked one of my twins, also in her head. But today, after 3 years that I rebelled against them with an attitude and no more doing what they want me to do.
This is a woman from North Florida. You're going to hear her again. She said that she's been tortured for a long time. I mean, this thing is ongoing for years and years and decades, some till life. I don't know how the people go through that for that long. I don't expect for me to like I won't like I don't want to. Listen, I'm not looking for death, but I'm saying that they talk about 20 years of these tortures, and so I hear this woman testimonies where she talks about how they will do things to her, destroy her, and because she has children, for her own children, she'll submit to whatever they will try to make her think or however they want to think because she didn't want to see her children being tortured. But you hear her, she had young children, twins, two young kids. They torture them using this technology that's remotely done. These people are disgusting and has, like literally, have manipulated and tortured children. Young children, very young. I mean, infants. Women, some women, you heard them having like, they were pregnant. Some of them lost their children because they're being tortured this way. There is no level that's too low. To change the subject via V2K, they have a lot of interaction. They want to diverge because I'm bringing that up. They're trying to confuse me. And they say things like, we're savages. But they try to use the lingo that savages use today in like a fierce way. But the truth is they are savages. Savages to the point of torturing children. Like barbaric, what's the word? Barbar. They're like savages in the sense that like savages that will torture children. Savages that will hurt a 3-week-old baby. That's the kind of savages they are. That's the kind of savages they truly are. That will sexually torture a 7-year-old kid. That's the kind of savages we're talking about. And so it's just nasty. But this is the torture that is just directly to children. But this manipulation of thoughts is so disgusting. As I was listening to this woman saying how she was saying these young children being tortured, they were making me think in ways that are so pedophilia centric. So they make you think of kids and give you stimulation, sensation, and try to make you accept these things. For me, it's been like that. You heard what they do to children. You heard how nasty they are to children. Literally hearing them being abused in ways that you can't comprehend. Sexually, mentally, physically, psychologically, destroying them, making them sick, thinking they're gonna die. Then, not dead. It's them just messing with them, and then want you to feel guilty, and not even feel guilty. They manipulate your thoughts and everything else. But for me, for example, actually, I'll bring that up at the end, because for me they've been. I bring that up. This is me in every videos now. I bring that up all the time. They try to make me feel guilty of what I did when me myself was a child. When I was saying kids, when they're kids, your brain is just still developing. You're not even fully there. You're not fully like, you're still processing. No, still becoming an actual human. Your brain is not developed to the point of understanding. So you can do impulsive stupidity things. Is what a child can do, and then grow up to finally be thinking more rational, especially in middle school. So when I was a kid, I did something stupid as a child, impulsive thing that they have to exaggerate, and they have to exaggerate because this is the things they do to children. While a kid at that age. Is a child. This is a kid. And so kids like that can do something like that impulsive that they try to exaggerate. They talk about abusing the people involved in this thing you just heard. You heard from sexual torture, from suffocations, from what was it those kids were getting, all the diseases they experienced. A baby, an infant that was they had a bunch of rashes. that they thought she was dying. No, she wasn't dying. They were just playing with her body. Even me saying that, when I say playing with the body, they turn into something sexual. But they were doing things to her body using this technology that made her sick. The 3-week old. So these bottom feeders, they want to hold on to their fantasy of them believing that, no, we're protecting. These people are the most disgusting things to human beings. To children, they are a danger to children. So they would talk about madameness of a child in middle school doing something stupid. And today, when they do these disgusting things you're going to hear, they say, no, but remember what you did as a kid. No, we mapped your brain to you when you were a kid. Because this is the things, when I talk about how they dehumanize children, for them to force people to think in these disgusting ways, shows how they devalue human beings, they devalue not only human beings, but even babies. They train their brains in these disgusting ways. Listen to what they do.
This is a cop breakdown tactic of belief systems and the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds, and vice versa.
Almost all target individuals are forced to see child pornography in their minds. Do you know what they try to do? This technology is super sophisticated, and your brain, your thoughts are manipulated. And they can condition your brain in these disgusting ways. And it's like they're training your brain to think about kids in sexual ways. Those are the people. To be involved in that, you gotta understand you have to dehumanize children. They are training people's brain to think about kids in sexual ways. Not only they torture children in different ways, but your brain be rearranged so you can think about children in sexual ways. So you have this disgusting reaction to children. Listen to this.
It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, bring thoughts of it. Like this disgusting thing. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that everyone said, oh, because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care. I don't know if it's through weapons. I don't know. I don't care.
So you hear that? Literally try to change. This person who's no longer with us. Say there's these people around her who apparently look like they try to change who she is. It sounds like they try to change who she is and putting thoughts of pedophilia in her mind. Literally saying what I'm saying. This was said in 2011. Really try to change her by making her have these disgusting, disturbing thoughts of pedophilia. It's nasty. But that's not it. Listen.
Science would refer to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of frantic dreams and videos.
Pedophilia type of torture. This is when you hear me say that now, it's because I heard it from her. That was the best way to describe what I'm experiencing, because it is the pedophilia type of torture. They do these things where they make you have this reaction toward children and then try to make you believe these things. That it's you. We mean like black girls. No, we mapped it to. They do this. If somebody can clearly say this like that, that there's a pedophilia type of torture. Do you understand that the validation that there is a tactic of utilizing pedophilia to break a target individual? Matter of fact, this is obviously a pattern because based on 1,000 people that this man called Robert Duncan talked to, who call themselves target individuals, out of the 1,000, almost all of them said that they're experiencing child porn implanted in their mind. You know, these people are forcing you to experience these nasty reactions and have a systematic tactic to manipulate the target individual in these pedophilia ways. As I'm saying that, via V2K, disorientation. Oh, you're gonna burn. Well, they're not telling me because they want me to be informed about that. They tell me because there's obvious patterns that pedophilia is utilized in a way to torment you. And it's done systematically, meaning that not only one individual is this is happening to one target individual, but almost all of them who's dealing with V2K and synthetic telepathy. And there's more validation.
I also often see highly disturbing pornographic images and videos, including highly disturbing pedophilia type of images and videos when I close my eyes.
You heard that. Pedophilia dreams. They've done that to me, especially early on, non-stop, every night. It doesn't even end there. The same woman who said that her children were being tortured. Oh, they do this sexual arousals and they aim it toward children.
In the old ways, they decided to get me in any way possible. I learned through other TIs that they've been assaulted sexually, and I realized I wasn't the only one, that I knew we all did the same thing. Also that some of the TIs stated that they forced her through holograms to see aberrant sexual scenes, that she felt that she was starting likening what she was forced to see every night, that I thought how that could happen, but then I told them that they would never take my will, and since we all know how the psychopaths groups work with what the TI says or does, then they started during the nights to run some kind of beam where suddenly I've been wakened up at 3 o'clock in the mornings and some kind of voice comes and say phrases during the process when I was awakened, and I would say demeaning things that for every single second of my privacy that you have I thought, this is strange, and then after family. Then said this the slaves began a program of perversion. First was with my dog. I am very playful with my pet, and suddenly one day that I was petting him I felt strange, in the sense of the word. I thought, this is strange, and then afterwards that strange sensation continued. Then in that moment I realized that was impost, so I thought, look at this losers, don't know how to put me down, and they are doing this. So I told them that I know what you are trying to do, and I started laughing. And then I said again out loud, you'll never take my will, ASS. So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today, they continue with the programming of a perversion, but this time they are aiming at the youths. A people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals.
You hear the beginning of this story. This woman went through horrible things. Matter of fact, in her testimony, because they tried to create this femme fatale fantasy, she says how she was repeatedly raped, and rape tactics are really used on a lot of women, big time. That's why it's so disgusting. But this is for another video. I think I'll finish that up at the end. But at the end, you hear that. You hear that this woman says that they start doing this thing where they give her feeling like weird sensations when she was petting the dog, when she's feeling on the dog, and then she's like, what's that feeling? Guess what? They start aiming that feeling toward children. Children. Do you see this pattern that consistently shows that they do this pedophilia type of torture? That they aim this sexual stimulation toward children. Not only they torture children sexually, not only they torture them in other ways, but as adults, target individuals are forced to think in these disgusting ways. They're nasty bottom feeders. I will never let this low life live their fantasy. Never. You hear the noise campaign try to interrupt me. I will never. So it's obvious there's a clear pattern, a clear freaking pattern that they are forcing men and women to have this reaction toward children. That they torture children. But it doesn't end here. Now, it's clear who runs the show here. The Department of Defense is running this program. You're going to hear the issue that's ongoing there. First of all, there's a bill that is meant to try to stop and slow down the issue with child pornography being shared within with this governmental entities that run this program. It's obvious the Department of Defense has strong involvement, and they're the one running this program. There's no other entity that has this level of resources. And listen to this.
To the proliferation of graphic material. Called Project Flicker, some 5,000 individuals have been identified as having subscriptions to child porn sites, including many DoD-affiliated persons. So this ongoing national investigation has now prompted the House to introduce a bipartisan bill that would help the DoD stop the use of its network to, quote, possess, procure, or produce child pornography. Joining us to discuss this, investigative journalist Ben Swan. So Ben, the Pentagon already takes measures to limit worker access to stuff like porn by rolling out what they call the Personal Electronic Device PED policy, where workers have to drop off their phones and lockers before entering their offices. All their online searches are accessible by security if or when needed. Their Wi-Fi access is monitored in digital security suites. So how is this happening?
Well, it's happening because even though there is a certain amount of limitation on access, those who are working in the Department of Defense, clearly it appears to be thousands of individuals in the Department of Defense, are finding ways around this, specifically by using the Department of Defense IP addresses and also apparently peer-to-peer sharing within the department's network. So this study that was done on this issue, and it is pretty horrifying, Manila, to consider this. It shows that the Department of Defense ranked 19th out of almost 3,000 networks in terms of peer-to-peer sharing of child pornography. That is absolutely incredible. This bill attempts to essentially say, look, we're not...
So you hear it already. As I was listening to that, what they were trying to do is to make me think of me as a kid in middle school, the same age, and try to make me imagine a version of what I did in exaggerated ways, to counter the fact that that these DoD entities are so freaking pedophilia-centric that this bill is attempting to limit this amount of child porn ranked by Child Protective Service shared within this network of the DoD. They are ranked 19th out of 2,900. There is so much child porn being shared within that network that they are ranked top fucking tier in regard of sharing child porn. Those are the entities running this program. Do you think these people don't dehumanize children? This is just the child porn that they're sharing. These people are around children and can do things to children. Now, the way they try to project reality is to make you believe these things. And now, because this validation is so obvious that there's a thing here that there needs to be mentioned a lot of times, that pedophilia is not only used as a tool to break you down, but the entities running this program have problem with pedophilia. Death comes to all of us. Thank God that's why I thank God every day. These bottom feeders involved in this program live day in and day out to counter this reality. And because they are contracted by the same entities where there's so much child porn that a bill is attempting to slow this thing down. Let's please continue.
But we're not doing enough to stop it from coming in, but we're also not doing enough in the Department of Defense to go after those individuals who are being recognized as the ones who are perpetrating this.
So Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger is the co-author to this bill. She said this, quote, "The notion that the Department of Defense's network and Pentagon-issued computers may be used to view, create, or circulate such horrifying images is a shameful disgrace and one we must fight head-on." Now, the fact that the Pentagon workers, be they civil or military or otherwise, already submit to a gauntlet of daily scrutiny just going in and out of work, is it fair then to the tens of thousands who are completely innocent to further allow that much more government intrusion into their digital devices or the things that they're dealing with on their computers?
Well, remember that what's being talked about here is not an intrusion into someone's personal device or even their home. This is about saying Department of Defense computers are being misused to share, to spread, to access child pornography. And when you step into an office, whether it's a Department of Defense office or it's the offices at RT America, wherever you go into an office, you do not have the right to simply use the technology within that office space however you want. And you certainly don't have the right to use it in a criminal manner. So essentially this bill is trying to do, again, two things. It's trying to limit that and crack down on the misuse of those computer systems, but it also is going after those individuals. One of the things that this bill attempts to do, and there's a Senate version of it put together by Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, but essentially what these two bills are trying to do is say, look, the Department of Defense does not have an adequate...
You heard that. This bill is not even to try to stop pedophiles joining these entities. It's just to stop them from using the Department of Defense devices and network to download child porn. This is why you hear somebody making noise campaign try to distract me. They know when I see them, this is all being processed in. These people are disgusting pedophilia century. Like now, and so when they do the pedophilia type of torture, they make me experience. And you have people like them around you who try to make you believe that, and they're obviously contracted by these government entities. Look at this. Try to make you believe, no, what we're doing is we mapped your brain to you when you were a kid. Remember what you did as a kid? Clowns. I understand what this is really about. Because the goal is to really pattern you. To make you believe that, to change you and to start controlling you better. This tactic of pedophilia type of tormenting is part of how they can get the result they want. It seems like they want to break you down, to rebuild you in different ways. And these pedophilia ways of manipulating people in experiencing things is what they do. So for me, when they try to create this stupidity of a narration to try to project the reality, the people dehumanizing children, is them. That's the reality. But even the entities running this program have been having a pattern that's so disgusting that even child porn is shared to that level. Within the network, this is not just one or two individuals. We're talking about so much child porn, they're ranked 19th out of 2,900. As I was saying that, they were saying how they're going to beat me. It's funny, they say because my thoughts, me saying these things in this rational way, my brain is not as rational as what I'm saying. They can make me think in ways. They can make me have these thoughts to counter the reality. So I'm never going to let them live their fantasy. Never. So when I see them, I know what they're capable of doing to children. Forget about even the women. Women, the testimonials of women are going to be surreal. I have a list on my fridge, 1 to 55 or something. Every day I'm going to start looking for a number, and every time they try to make themselves believe there's some kind of fierce femme fatale, I'm going to pick 2, 3 numbers and read the names there. To remember, okay, no, number 55, this 48 to 28, okay. But it doesn't end there. This is the Department of Defense. Listen to what the CIA, their issues.
Targeted individuals. Oh, perfect.
2-year-old and a 6-year-old. He was simply fired. One employee purchased sexually explicit videos of young girls filmed by their mothers. He resigned. One employee estimated that he had viewed up to 1,400 sexually abusive images of children while on agency assignments. Not sure what actions, if any, were taken by him. One contractor arranged for sex with an undercover FBI agent. I think that you mentioned that. Posing as a child, he had his contract revoked. One CIA staffer was charged with child sexual crimes, and the employee was also under investigation for mishandling classified material. But sexual crimes involving children, says BuzzFeed, including the viewing of images of abuse, have been uncovered at other agencies that handle sensitive information. In a November 2009 report, the Department of Defense acknowledged that dozens of Pentagon staff members or contractors had such images. In 2014, the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community found that 2 officials from the National Reconnaissance Office, which oversees America's spy satellites, acknowledged viewing images of child sexual abuse during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening in the general evil?
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired?
Is there a pattern? So, as target individual, we are forced to believe this false reality because we are manipulated in different ways. They have this disgusting manipulation. They do all kind of, and I've talked about all of them that I'm experiencing, and then try to make you believe that what you're experiencing is things that you just in whatever. In my case, at least, what they try to do is like, what the reason why you feel like that is because we mapped your brain to you when you were like a kid, and so we're bringing that brain, some childlike things. Because the reality is there is a pattern of these systematic tactics of tormenting target individual for the purpose of the results that they want. But adding to that layer, adding that cherry on top of all the cherries, is to find out there's a true issue pedophilia within these agencies that are sponsoring, running this program, the one providing the technology, the tactics, the resources, and contracting these nasty little bottom feeders. That's going to do all nasty things to you and want you to disorient you from the reality of what this is about. Because they themselves, listen, somebody like that, what do you think is going on in their life? Like, this is, they're just starting life. Like, please. Like, they really want me to be like, oh, they're so fierce. Look at them. They're like almost kids. If they're not kids. So this to them is like, it's like they feel special. Look at the way they like. So what happens is, the reason why I bring these people, those are like that person who talked about her targeting, that she said there's people around her, surrounding her, doing this with these weapons or whatever. So those are like neighbors, like individual. They participate and they try to paint this fantasy to try to get you to believe that it's like this study they're doing, some analyze, they're researching, they're investigating, and you see this person. These kids looking at their phone, and based on them looking at the phone, you should think that are you being manipulated. But these people love these things, like it gives them a sense of importance they do not have. This a sense of empowerment. They can be sitting there being contracted to do these things to my body. They don't know what's happening to their body, but they can destroy my body. So I understand that part, and sometimes it's hard for me to block out the fact that they are just the nobodies. Matter of fact, if I wanted to take it personally to anybody, it's the employee who put me in this media in this program. They're the only person, the only people, the only individual where if anything is for me to get angry at an individual, it's that person. These people, they do that to another person, to children. They can dehumanize a child by torturing a child. This program does these things to children and torture them. In my brain, they have even manipulated my memories and try to make me experience a reaction. I've talked about memories manipulation. And give me the sensation they make me have today. To lose the notion of who I am. So they can be like, you see, you felt like that when you saw that picture of this person showing, you see, don't you remember feeling that? No, you're making me experience this memory in this fashion. It's nasty. So yes, today I'm terrified. I'm terrified to be around children, or seeing children, or hearing children, or anything with children, because what they're going to do to me, people like them, this program, is they're going to make me have the disgusting reaction toward children, and then try to make you feel like it's you, but it's not even that. That part I don't even care. It's just you still experience that. The experience of this feeling is so disturbing that it's traumatizing to you. They're delusional trash. And so these people capable of doing these horrible things to children, then try to vilify you and try to make you believe that you're the one who dehumanized children while they're in the program that literally use kids as test subjects. And to just add to that same line of like dehumanizing children, their own children are dehumanized. Do you know how they tell me how they're going to frame me? One is implanting child porn. And the way they say it is like, we dared. We dared to implant child porn. You know, anybody who's talking about implanting child porn, do you think they care about children? Do you know how nasty this thing is? Like, I could be living the life where, oh, I'm going to dare. You heard the issues that's ongoing in these entities. You heard that woman saying how shamefulness and disgracefulness it is to circulate and do this and that using. And they're saying they're going to implant child porn. Is there a pattern here? It is fair that the people who have problem with child porn, that torture children, that would dehumanize babies, would talk about implanting child porn. And then try in the same alignments, then create this fantasy and this false distorted reality like they're coming from us. Then it's fierce. Because that's the job. These people are contracted to do the foulest things, and they want to do. They love doing this, but they hate the reality of what that means. Another way they say they're going to frame me is they're going to have their own children coerced in saying that something in framing me in one way or another. Basically, say something that I did something to them. Matter of fact, I don't know. I know my devices are manipulated. So I don't know if they're currently having like they're using my phone and having this like back and forth text messages. I don't know exactly the details, but I keep hearing that they're gonna frame me in this fashion, that they make it seem like I'm talking to this kid, but I'm not aware. I'm not seeing it, but this is happening. They're setting this up in this way to look like that I'm doing something to this kid, to their kids here. So every once in a while they open the doors like, oh, I'm 13 years old. Oh, I'm underage. I'm like, why do you tell me these things I don't care about? It has nothing to do with me. I don't even know you. Don't even talk to me. It's because they let me know that we're going to frame you and we're going to say you did something to this underage. That is another sign of how they can even dehumanize their own children. Because if you have a child your own, would you even have your child, like, would you dirty your child like that? Would you have your own child be compromised in this level? You know this is not going to bring anything positive to your child. It doesn't bring anything positive to your child. If you're a father or mother who cares about your own child, you will never have your child do this. Because you know the consequences of what's going to happen to your child. You'll be like, no, this, no, I refuse to have my child to do that. I hate this man, whatever. But don't use my child like that. Use your own child. No, I can't. And on top of that, you know that the program you work for does these horrible things to children. You know what they try to use? It's like, now you pay for what you did as a kid. Well, they know exactly what they do to children. Torturing and suffocating children. Like the incentives this governmental entity provide them, make them even forget the reality of what it means to have your child coerced in this, involved in a program where you know what they do to children, and when you know the entities that contracted you have problem with pedophilia, so much so that they try to stop and limit the amount of child porn shared. And you think I'm going to let you believe that you talk about me as a kid? Your own child is even about the same age of what I did when I was a kid. So you understand how kids are. While you're in a program that are literally suffocating 7-year-old children, abusing them in ways that are so disturbing. No, in every way possible, it's been shown to you that you're going to, if you have your child do this, expect something. You destroy your child's life. You know, like that's another level to show even your own child is becoming dehumanized. Because any parent that loves their children will never ever have their own child being coerce them into or participate in framing a person, even if you hate that person, even you detest that person, your own child. You know what that means? Your child is not going to be a normal person. It's something about that person will always be wrong. Imagine me when I was 13, 14 years old. They tell me, hey, we're going to help. We want you to start framing this person. See that this person did something to you. I'm 13, 14. We frame this person. How do you think I'm going to grow up to be? Do you understand what it means? They know, but the incentives make them even forget about the care about their own children. They even dehumanize their own children. Trash. And then try to find ways, now you pay for what you did as a kid. As a kid, do you know I was a child? They even try to create this story like, no, you damaged her. I was like, she doesn't even know me. But you know who you're damaging. The children you torture. What you've done to these babies. You grown-ass men know this. You're not talking about an impulsive kid in middle school. You destroying their life and suffocating, sexually torturing children. Delusional trash. In every way possible. I can never let them live it. That's why I like to show the pictures of reality. Because they want you to like get lost in the ways they want you to think. This, you heard the horrible torture they do to children. They try to be, now we are bench for what you did when you're at that age. And they have to exaggerate what I did to create this fantasy. While you just heard those horrible stories about what they see the children go through. And then be like, no, I'm going to coerce my child. Can you imagine? Your own child. It's one thing to have your child participate in this program. Okay. You know, they participate, they show your child so they can do the pedophilia type of torture onto me. But another level to like, yo, you know what? Let me have my child say that that something happened to her. Okay, say that and that. They work with you. And participate in this framing of that. Whatever's going to happen to me is not going to it's not going to change whatever happens to her. I'd rather jump in fire than be involved in this. There is a clear pattern of dehumanizing children and torturing them. The entities running this program are so freaking pedophilia-centric, they're being ranked 19th out of 2,900. You know these people do things to children. Matter of fact, yes, the CIA agent doing something to a 2-year-old and 6-year-old. For sure. On top of that, they are torturing kids, babies, 3-week old. I would jump in the fires before. I'm so thankful to God that like I could have been living life countering this. When I look at them, I see that through for sure. That's why I was looking forward to making this video, because I'm so thankful to God that I didn't have to live this life. So to all my target individuals, or anybody's watching this, find yourself lucky. Whatever's going to happen to you, please understand. This is what they counter. This is what their life, they're living life, their ability to do. What happens to me? I'm never going to look at them as like they're responsible for that. No, it was done. It was going to happen another way. Because once I was put in this program, I was only going to expect the worst thing I can experience. There's no coming out normally. I know the people who put me in this program wanted to destroy me. And it'll be forever. When they put me in this program to ensure that I never show up again, I'll be destroyed completely. These bottom feeders are the trash who just wanted to, that love this feeling, but they just implement. So I understand they just want to disorient me from forgetting the reality of what this is about. And to find out how nasty and pedophilia-centric and how dehumanizing they are to even babies is a reality that needs to be brought back. And when they try to talk about me as a middle schooler, while they hear suffocating a 7-year-old with autism. Yes, when I see them, I'll see them for what they're truly part of. So to all my target individual, they are the one dehumanizing even babies.